Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Tyrone back with Tech Life. And over the last few days, I've been reading several articles of analysts and their estimates, and I've been looking more deeply into AT&T as to how this could play out for them. A lot of analysts are predicting that AT&T may be in trouble here from a competition standpoint, and them being a stronger competitor going into the next generation of wireless, which we all know now as 5G. So this article stood out to me, and as you can see by the by the title, it says AT&T devastating 5G auction. The reason they're using the word devastating, in my opinion, is their balance sheet was never really ready to fully compete in this auction to begin with. So yeah, they were able to spend money. They had cash on hand, but to be a more stronger competitor in the auction, AT&T was never very well positioned for that from the beginning. So I wanted to read a point that they made at the very end, which I fully agree with. They said the stock is likely to hang below $30 as the wireless and media giant either overspends for the spectrum, which could happen, and then they possibly get into more debt, or the competitors become a lot more formidable. So T-Mobile just closed its merger with Sprint earlier in the year. We're almost in 2021. They're leveraging those assets, and they're rolling that 2.5 out at mass scale on its current grid. We're going to see that materialize more in 21, but they're going to be very strong in the areas that matter the most to them. They grew since 2015. I think they grew almost 400% of the wireless customers in the industry that went to them, while Verizon and AT&T went back and forth on getting more spectrum because they've had the more customers for the last 5 years. They've had, Verizon has had over 100 million of customers, and AT&T has been close to that as well. Now that the merger closed with Sprint, T-Mobile is right at those customer numbers. They even surpassed AT&T, but now they actually have spectrum to go with that the other two don't have as of yet. So AT&T, in my opinion as well, is a bit more lesser positioned, and that could be the case going into the next generation. So is it a lose-lose situation for AT&T? It very well could be. If they overspend for that spectrum, that hurts them. And if they don't get enough of that spectrum, that may hurt them as well. So their bread and butter right now is FirstNet, because competition-wise, that's setting themselves apart from the competition. It's growing daily, the network. They could potentially be coverage leader in the future and become even bigger than Verizon, and their coverage potentially will likely perform better than the competition's for now, because they have more spectrum to throw at the network, and the sites with the one-touch strategy are future-proof, more modernized. So that's right now AT&T's bread and butter, I feel. But at the metro levels, the suburban levels, they could very well be overtaken by both T-Mobile and Verizon on network performance. I think T-Mobile still struggles a bit on coverage in the suburban areas, but where they do work and they are strong on the densification, T-Mobile is going to make some pretty big noise. Not only marketing wise, but I think third party early on, like short term, are going to pick up on this very quickly, and speeds are going to be increasing very quickly for T-Mobile. And Verizon, the same with Verizon. They've had the strongest LTE network from the beginning. Now towards the end, it's lagging a little bit because of the spectrum position, but the C-band seems to be finished, I would say, within the first 3 weeks of January. Then we should know early February, maybe mid-February, what the total spectrum holdings are for each carrier and what markets. And then after that, I think Verizon goes to town. They immediately go in and they start rolling out that not the spectrum yet because it has to clear, but they start rolling out the equipment that supports that spectrum almost immediately, I think. And that should fare well for them going into 21 and then 22. So let me know what you think about this. Do you think AT&T is in trouble here? Again, I'm no financial advisor. I do like to point that out. Also, I don't think, AT&T is going anywhere. They're not. They still make, a ton of money. But from a competition standpoint, they could very quickly fall to third place if they don't really change strategy internally, become more flexible. I think they become the price leader in the future. That's my prediction. Like beyond 2021, I think they become strategically price leader. But on the media side, they have to fix some things. They have to get fiber out there more aggressively. Over the next 5 years, I have to say their fiber spending has to go up. They need to really get that product out there, and they need to leverage all of those business assets to really make some noise in the wireless industry, based on the fact that they may have to overspend for that C-band auction, and that's not going to sit very well with its investors. So again, if you are new to the channel or you have been on the channel, make sure you like, share, subscribe if you haven't. Also hit the notification bell so you are notified when I do upload content. Make sure to follow the social media outlets for more updates and interactions on the Twitter and the Instagram. Thanks again for watching. This is Tyrone with Tech Life, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.